Good morning, Pool Player Nation. Welcome to Orlando, Florida for continuing coverage of the 2024 U.S. Amateur Championship presented by the American Pool Players Association, and our coverage brought to you by our good friends at PoolDog.com. I'm your host, Jason Bowman, and I am joined by Double J, Jeremy Jones. Jeremy, the final day of competition has finally arrived at this year's U.S. Amateur Championship, and what started as a field of 128 players now down to just a handful of hopefuls here in Orlando.
Yeah, a lot of hopefuls, and at the business end of this event, all these guys, and well, I think it's all guys left in the Open, but all vying for a big title.
Yeah. Let's take a quick look at the format for the U.S. Amateur Championship Open Division. The Open Division is a double elimination tournament up until the championship final, which we'll see later this afternoon. This particular match is a race to 7 with 5 games of 8-ball and up to 8 games of 9-ball. Now, the winner of the lag can opt to choose either the format or the break, and our match here this morning is going to feature Sam Gilmer of Starkville, Mississippi, versus Ernesto Bayaua of Woodlands, Texas. The players are ready to get started. Let's take you down into the pit for the beginning of this match. We've got Sam on the left, Ernesto on the right.
Yeah, and we're, I think, 6 players left in the event at the moment. I think 8 started maybe this morning, but...
All right, well, we're changing it up this morning. Ernesto wins the break, or the lag, takes the break. Sam's chosen to start in the 9-ball set, first one we've seen.
Well, this, if you remember yesterday, I mentioned a couple players that I was talking about. Sam was one of them that wanted to put the pressure on with some 9-ball and kind of, come out to where some players can run some racks.
Okay. This will be the first match we've seen here on the stream table, the entire tournament, where we've started the 9-ball set. So,
yeah, fast and loose to start here on
works for me
on the final day. Yeah.
Championship Saturday here in Orlando. We'll take it.
Yeah, if you missed your coffee, this 9-ball will wake you up a little bit. And no. Not saying much here, but from the start of the tournament, these two could have been the finals match. That's for sure. That won't happen today. This is the one-loss side, so one's got to go. Ernesto, who really kind of has put on a breaking exhibition so far in this tournament, seems like, anyways, especially on the 9-ball side of things.
A couple other notable players that have exited the tournament. Jacob Watson was eliminated yesterday.
Oh, just what he didn't want to start, making 3 balls on the break, and the 4th one being the white ball, which is just seems like the biggest kind of body blow you can have in pool was that scratch on the break. Sam gets to start off with ball in hand and really just 1 ball up the table.
You say you've known Sam since he was about 10 years old, is that right?
Well, I say I've known him, but...
Known about him?
Yeah,
him?
He actually put his eyes on me first without me knowing. He was kind of there. His dad owned a pool room in Starkville. Southern Billiards is still there, actually. Sam owns it now, and I think I was 21 years old. I don't want to tell you how long ago that was, but I went there. His dad was kind of a guy you went and played, and he liked the action and whatnot. And so we went there, me and my buddy, when I was 21. And Sam told me later on, years later, he said, I was there that night when you came through. He was just, probably 10, 12 years old, something like that. Whole family plays pool. Really good dude. Has kind of come in and out of pool at times. Of course, a business owner and whatnot, but now on the board early and quickly.
And he takes advantage of that scratch on the break by Ernesto Bayaua. Sam Gilmer with a 1-0 lead, and we will have continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur in just a few moments. Welcome back to continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship. Get that score updated momentarily, but Sam Gilmer now leading 1-0 over Ernesto Bayaua. And he will have his first break of the match here. And now Sam goes off the table on the break, so it'll be ball in hand to Ernesto. And this match started in the 9-ball set. So we'll see 8 games of 9-ball before we move into the 8-ball set.
And we see scratches all the time, all kinds of ways. Sometimes the players kind of lose the rock, and then sometimes it gets kissed. A little light there. He's going to be cueing over the 3-ball now. So early in the match, a bit of a tester. But you don't see the ball flown off the table very often. Jason, that's more of a miss hit on the one.
Yeah, first we've seen this tournament here on this table at least. And this is a match on the one-loss side of the bracket, so one of these players will be exiting the tournament at the conclusion of this match. One will move on. Ernesto Bayaua here out of Texas. Former U.S. Amateur Champion in 2011. Runner-up in 2022. Always a contender here.
Yeah, great guy and a great couple. There, Ernesto and Teresa. All about pool there in the Houston area.
Should be a great day here in Orlando. Championship Saturday. I was saying Jacob Watson has been eliminated. Last year's runner-up, Josh Watson, also eliminated.
Yeah, he got into that a bit heavy. May get over the 8 or near it. So just a little overamped at the moment. Does he take on the bank here? Of course, if the 8 wasn't there, you're cutting this 7-ball, but hard to really cue the ball, and you're worried about the scratch if you play the cut shot.
Bring Sam Gilmer back to the table. Again, he's out of Starkville, Mississippi.
Yeah, nice control there. Playing the 7-ball speed to the top rail. Playing for the bump on the 9. Couldn't really hold it behind the 9 without the bump. Jump cues are allowed here at the U.S. Amateurs, but this one's a little odd, and he may consider the jump because the kick is pretty odd also. Now he's got to get the cue ball up fairly quickly, only going over a portion of the 9, but any miss hit on the cue ball, when it's going up quickly like this, it can curve actually, kind of bouncing down the table. Sometimes you don't even hit the 7. I caught it from behind.
Bring Sam back to the table. This is actually Sam's first time competing in the U.S. Amateur Championship.
I talked to Sam quite a bit here, and he said that the APA is new to that area. So said they're going to grow it, though. He said the good league operator, can't remember the name, but said it should become pretty popular quickly. All right, he wants to probably just roll this. Doesn't want to elevate the cue, or he is going to elevate. So he's trying to draw it a little bit. Nice shot. You can see Sam pulls the trigger pretty quickly when he's down on the ball, so you got to pay attention.
Sam now with a 2-0 lead in this race to 7, and he'll have the break when we return in just a moment. Welcome back to continuing coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship from Orlando, Florida. Sam Gilmer at the table preparing to break, leading this race to 7, 2-0. Powerful break there.
Yeah, and what looks maybe a huge mistake here in Game 2 for Ernesto. Nice break, much better than his first for Sam. And a really good shot on the 1 that leads to the 2 very naturally. You can see that Sam's been playing a long time. Of course, his family played, his dad played on that pool room. But a very fluid player, very natural.
Said he's been playing since he's 4 years old.
Yeah.
Dad had the pool room starting in 1990.
Yeah, I think I went there in 92, I think it was. I think I was 21. Starkville, of course, grown since then, but fairly small town on the, if I remember right, the southwest part of the state.
You see Sam's son here with him, watching Dad compete. Son Seeger, 13 years old, right over there in Dad's corner. Pretty cool to be able to come watch your dad play in an event like this. Watch him playing pretty well at the moment, too.
Yeah, and I'm sure his son knows plenty about pool. But they're going to, I think, go on to watch and maybe participate some in the International next week. I talked to Sam about that. A little funny here. May have to power up and come across. Yeah, didn't get near as much out of it as he wanted. And I believe all these players played at 9 o'clock this morning. So having a match under their belt. Maybe not all the players, but I know some have.
And our noon match will be the hot seat match. Noon Eastern. Pockets at 8.
Yeah, showing the touch there as well. He's kind of had most of the shots on the firmer side, but hit that one nice on the lighter side. This is what he wanted. He wanted to get out and get going.
Break and run there for Sam Gilmer. So far, that decision to start in the 9-ball set has suited him well, and he will have the break once again when we return in a few moments.
This one is using actually 10 balls. So what exactly is a tangent? There's, in my opinion, 3 types of bridge. The closed bridge, the open bridge, and the rail bridge. We're gonna start with the closed bridge. Now if you practice this, it's really gonna help you to go from a 2 to a 3. In this episode today, we're gonna cover how to go from a 3 to a 4. Let's get into it. The more
you're gonna do it. See, as you can see, I touch sometimes a little bit of it.
And 8, right? So to technically have 8 zones for 10 balls, so you have a little bit of room to spare. I really hope this was useful, and I cannot wait to see you for another video. Later, everybody.
Welcome back to continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship from Orlando, Florida. Sam Gilmer with the break once again. Another powerful break.
Yeah, and he's going to get dressed up on the 1 again with the 3 very close. Hair of awkward cueing with the 9 there, but shouldn't be a problem. No power really needed. And that position mistake in game number 2 from Ernesto could be very costly. The missed 7-ball bank, hey, that's missable, but he would tell you, I think, the same, that the position on the 7 is what was really costly. And we're going to see how costly it is here in a moment when this run finishes, and who knows when. The table's breaking very well. All right, good stun across. I like just kind of going lightly here. Oh, he had more angle than it appeared. Kind of punched it a little bit there more than the draw stroke. That's why he's not near as close to the 8 as he wanted. I like those extra few moments he just took, just kind of settling himself. It's not a tough shot, but he's got to get into the ball a bit.
And a very impressive start for Sam Gilmer. 4-0 lead in this race to 7. And he will hold the break when we return in just a moment. Welcome back. Continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship here on Championship Saturday in Orlando. Sam Gilmer out of Mississippi with a very strong start in this 10:30 a.m. match.
Yeah, and the 1's coming over the pocket again with everything opened up. It's going to be a little bit of a stretch, but that shouldn't be an issue. Kind of making us question, are we going to see any 8-ball here in this 10:30 match? Looks like Sam doesn't really want to see all 15 on the table. All right, this first shot, he's got the right side of the cue ball, which is what he wants. It's going to be with the bridge, so he's got to kind of float up into the center of the table, getting by the 8, but not too much speed. So this one here, how you hit the pocket, can really determine how much cue ball travel you get. This looks really good. He's got to slow down a little bit, but he's going to have a shot at the 2, and the cue ball got right between the 3 and 4. Oh, no. He's looking at it. Maybe it went a little far. I thought he was okay on the 2, but I think he can make it with a hair spin, but he can't really put much speed on it. So he's going to have to shoot the 3 from a little distance and a lot of angle. Ernesto probably happy to see something slowing Sam down.
Ernesto has not been to the table since that second rack after Sam sent the cue ball flying on the break. Pockets the 2 in the corner.
Yeah, tester here. Not so much the shot. Of course, it's missable, but the 6 ball's a big ball to try and move the cue ball and get back for the 4. Easy to miss the ball when you're worried about the cue ball path. Oh, wow, he got too much on it, so now ball in hand.
Now an opportunity for Ernesto to finally return to the table. Try to cut into this big lead that Sam has established early on. Very quickly, too.
Yeah, and the way Sam's playing and breaking, this is really a must run out for Ernesto to get things going. Could have used a hair more angle there, but should be okay to stun across. Beautiful stroke there. Got a lot out of the cue ball. Good little recovery. Not totally out of line, but you would say a hair uncomfortable.
And Ernesto takes advantage of his opportunity now on the board, still trailing by 3 racks. He will have the break when we return in just a few moments.
No way, he did it. He did it. Holy smokes, what a shot.
The 2 defeats the 9. David has beaten Goliath. Welcome back to Orlando, Florida. Continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Final day of competition here at the Hyatt Regency. Ernesto Bayaua at the table. 6th game of the 9-ball set.
All right, the 1's going to get covered up. Interesting, almost every ball on that side of the table besides the 4. See that occasionally, but not too often. So it's going to be a push out. And if he pushes out to the top cushion, we'll see how much angle he leaves, but Sam probably takes that Pretty easy safety, cutting the 1 into the 5, whether it be come back behind the 7 or run the cue ball back up table, or back down table, a couple rails behind the 8 and 9. Be hard for me to pass on this one, I think. Can come behind the 7 with a lot of control also. He's going to pass on it. Which I think if I'm Ernesto trailing 4-1, I like to take this shot. Got a chance to lay down a nice safety. You can try and go up table. I can't tell how he's cueing it. He's coming behind the 7. And of course, it's not going to be that type of ball in hand safety, but you're just trying to get control. Now this will be, if Sam can get up behind this one, this will be a kick and stick, a little top English, maybe a hair left. He's going to travel this around and may get in that little gap between the rail and the 2 ball. It's close. Don't think he can make it. Tell you, he's going to have to draw this a bit, maybe play the 1 into the 9. Try and squeeze the cue ball between the 2 and 5. Touchy shot, easy to let up on this. Oh, beautiful. Didn't get the snooker, but did make the 1. Gotta go. Got the snooker, but not exactly what he wanted with the cue ball behind the 3-5. Another trying to kick and stick from behind. Ooh, cue ball. I think this is going to give up the window between the 4-9 to get at the 2. It's really close. I think it is there, though. Yeah, you can't worry about the cue ball too much as long as you're not going towards a scratch. As he's just going to roll forward on the 5 here. This type of shot, just make sure the 3's getting a cushion. You can afford a little bump on the 5. Or is he going to go 4 rails here? Is he just going to float? I like that, just floating. May need a little contact on the 8. It's just a little heavy. Well, he's going to get a big roll here. The 4 out in the middle of the table gets right behind the 8. Can't say he rushed it. Sam pulls the trigger pretty quickly anyways.
As Ernesto surveys the table, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Diamond Tables, Action Cues, Airmouth Billiard Balls, and of course the good folks at PoolDog.com.
Yeah, pays to hit him.
See if we can get the overhead there on that shot.
Yeah, the cue ball just came open, I believe. So Ernesto gets this game down. We will get to the 8 ball. Yeah, real nice stroke there, stunning the ball out. Now fairly natural to come 2 to 3 rails down for the 9.
All right, back-to-back racks go Ernesto's way. Still trails by 2, but he will have the break once again when we return in just a moment. See if Jonathan can make some magic happen somehow.
Oh, she made it. She made it. And there's an unbelievable chance here for a team that was downhill 0. Never over till it's over, people.
True.
What a comeback by these two. Holy moly, people.
Welcome back to Orlando, Florida, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Ernesto Bayaua, currently trailing by 2 in this race to 7, has the break in the final game of the 9-ball set.
I missed the corner ball. I haven't seen that in this match as of yet, with other balls pocketed also. So we'll see what Sam has in mind on some type of safety, you would assume. I'll have to figure out how to go through the 1 to get up behind the 4-5. That looks like a big grouping, to big target. I don't know if it's really there. Okay, that's what he's doing, trying to spin behind. Really nice shot. This is going to be a tough ball to hit. If he can't get past the side here. directly at that long rail past the side and come 2 cushions underneath this one. I think he's a big underdog to hit this ball. He's going to go 2 cushions the other way. I'd love to tie up the 4 and 5 right here if I could. Just surrender a ball in hand. I know it's not the most friendly thing to do, and your mind is not take its chance at this kick shot, but this is pretty low percentage. Good effort. Overdrew the ball a little bit, but shouldn't be a problem. The 3's very handy. Yeah, kind of killed that ball more than he wanted. Has a lot of angle here on the 6. Can he hold it lightly? Looks like that's what he's going to attempt. Kind of punched it a little bit.
An opportunity now for Ernesto that didn't look like it was going to be there.
No, really, the way Sam's broke the balls, too. Gets out there. Good chance to maybe win the next game and get on the hill quickly. Huge game here.
Cannot pocket the 8 in the corner. And Sam pockets that 9, extends his lead to 3, and he will have the break in the first game of the 8-ball set when we return in just a moment.
I can't believe it. You did it. We're going to Vegas. Oh my.
All right, we're back in Orlando, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. And before the break, I misspoke there, Jeremy. We have one more rack of 9-ball, and Sam will have the break. Opportunity to put himself on the hill.
Yeah, 9-ball's going to get kicked over a little bit. I think this 1-ball bank does go. It's not easy. Anytime you're kind of flat on it, the one's near the rail, you may have to kind of shorten the bank, but I think it is playable. If he elected to not shoot it, you couldn't blame him. But there is position there. You can see the 2 near. He's hitting a high ball, so I don't know. He's going to get over the 3 with the cue ball, so I think this run has come to a halt here. Really hard to shoot at this ball. Could shoot it, come across a little bit, maybe play a 3-9 kiss shot. Most would cross this ball and try and run the cue ball back down table where it's at now. That's not easy either, even being jacked up over the 3. Nice hit. Got a lot of speed on the cue ball and enough speed on the 2 to get it to the cushion. So overall, good stuff there from Sam. Now the safety becomes a little more difficult when the 9's near the pocket like that. You bring the 2 down, trying to go behind the 8. If you leave any look, you could leave an early winner for Sam. So probably coming off the left side of the 2 here. Got to go. Got to go a little bit. And this is going to set up natural position to maybe get on the 3-9 to end this part of the set as far as the 9-ball is concerned. I think it's real natural. Just top left English. He's probably trying to look and see how I can avoid maybe just trying to run out. But when it's natural, go ahead and play for the combination. That's what he's going to do. Got near the rail with the cue ball, so that makes it a little more unfriendly, but still he's got to shoot at this.
All right, Sam now with a commanding 6-2 lead. Looks like that decision to start in the 9-ball set served him well, and he will have the break. In the first game of the 8-ball set, he'll be on the hill when we return. And welcome back to Orlando, continuing coverage of the U.S. Amateur Championship. Sam Gilmer with a 6-2 lead, now on the hill, needs one more rack to advance. See if he can get it in the first game of the 8-ball set. Again, Ernesto won the lag, opted to take the break. Sam went a little unconventional, at least by what we've seen thus far in the tournament. Chose to start in the 9-ball set, and the decision seemed to have served him well as he opened up a 6-2 lead.
Yeah, and you can see why Ernesto wanted that break, not only how awesome his break is, but keeping Sam from breaking. And Sam has second ball break here. I think he's made one of each, so these are set up nice. Guy who's won everything in the APA and many other tournaments around the South. We may not see him again, Ernesto Bayaua. These balls are really open. Now he's got to get rid of the 7, so I would probably got rid of it after that ball there, maybe. Got an angle to come up on the 6 after the 7, but balls are really nicely open, so he can still work the cue ball. Just really needs this shot to get position. A little bit awkward cueing over the 12. Can he draw off this 14 and not cause any problems for the 3? Doesn't want to bump the 14 heavily and put that in the way of that pocket for the upper corner for the red 3, so if he wasn't elevated over the 12, he 100% shoots the 3. Oh, yeah, he held it nicely. So this is going to be a quick match overall.
What a showing by Sam Gilmer.
Yeah, he got his sleep last night.
Yeah. He showed up ready to play today. Dominating performance. Players shake hands. Well, remember that name and face, folks. Sam Gilmer, might see him again today. He moves on the one-loss side of the bracket. Ernesto Bayaua, the former U.S. Amateur Champion, has exited this year's competition, and we will have more coverage of this year's U.S. Amateur Championship coming at you guys here shortly. Make sure you stay tuned.